Live from Soho, New York City, it's Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
That's me, hello.
Yes.
It's May 28th. Welcome to the show. This is Phil, Mr. Lady Ada
Hello,
himself.
hello.
He's going to run the show
Yeah,
and tell us what is on today's show.
yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on today. On today's show, the code is...
Block it. Just block it. Bop it. And turn it and block it. But use the code BLOCK IT if you want to get 10% off everything in the Flora and Wearables category today until 11:59 p.m.
Okay, next up.
We're going to have Wearable Wednesday. That's where we debut this week's wearable project, talk about some other cool stuff going on the blog, make any announcements we have.
Component of the week.
There's a component, it is of the week. It's a pretty good category title.
Tools we would take with us if we were on a desert island.
Yep. Today we'll be having a special very sharp segment.
Questions and answers. You got questions? Becky has answers.
If you have questions during the show about wearable electronics, you can ask them in the comments, and I will queue them up for next week, and you'll be eligible to win a prize. That's how it works. I pick your questions, and if your question is selected, so ask your good wearables questions, or you know your deepest desires about wearables in the comments below, all during the show.
All that more on Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
That's what our show's
The
about.
longest running live wearable electronics
And
show
most popular.
on the internet right now. At 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m. on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
No, there's no other live wearable electronics show, so we can say
no.
any superlatives about the show. There's
Fuck
a lot
is
of fun
cool.
stuff going on in wearables lately. A lot of like personal space protecting wearables. People are really getting into it. We have a couple things to show you today from the blog.
Let me just pay some bills real quick. These codes get you skills that help us pay the bills. Block it. 10% off everything up until 11:59 p.m. tonight. And let's move on to Wearable Wednesday. All right, Becky.
Every week on the blog, we post up the coolest things, like dozens of them, so you can check it out. We have a couple of different authors, including myself, adding really great projects. This one comes from Hector. Hector is an Adafruit customer. He wrote in to share with us his MIDI tie, and it's got some Flora NeoPixels on it. There's a really cool video of him wearing his tie, jamming out on his computer on the blog. You can find it.
Okay.
Really cool project. He did a write-up telling you how he did it, and made a code library and everything. So really well documented project. Hector. Nice
Okay.
work.
And next up, I really like these kind of biohacky
Yeah, these are cool.
augmented person.
This is a Maker Faire sighting. This is May and her really awesome robotic wing backpack. Cool, full of laser cut stuff and articulated robotic movement. You've got to check out the video on that one too. Nice job.
Okay. Next up, nails.
Super neat. Yep. Some students were experimenting with different electronics components on nails for different kind of interactive stuff. Reminded us of our NFC unlocking manicure. So it's taken off. It's cool. I like the nails as a computing platform because it's small. You use it all the time, but you don't. But it's a place you usually adorn if you're a lady. Also, men wear nail polish too these days.
The RFID video that you did is a hit.
Yeah. Yay.
A bona fide hit.
Sweet. I like it when that happens. It's
Yeah.
hard to tell which ones are going to be hits, but
That one, you said in advance. You're like, I think this one has legs.
well, because
or
it's
fingers.
Because it's unexpected. People have been implanting RFID chips in their hands for a long time, but like, you can stick it on your nail polish and not have to have surgery, But like, dudes don't typically wear nail polish, so like that's why it's kind of a little bit cognitive dissonance. And I think that's why it's so popular because it's like, oh, duh.
Yeah.
Because historically, if men develop new technology, they're not thinking from a lady's perspective.
Us gothy people that may or may not paint our fingernails black once in a while, we can do anything we want.
Yeah, well, and Mike Horde at Spark Fun paints his nails too.
He does. Next up.
This is a really cool project. Another one that you have to see the video. That's a little ruffly lizard scarf or like shoulder. What do you want to call that? Neck accessory, collar.
Neck accessory.
Do you remember in Jurassic Park the lizard that kills Newman?
Oh, the one that like.
The ruffly necked one. This does that, and it's really effective. The animation. There's some servo motors in there, and the way there's this piece of like fabricy paper stuff between the spines, it looks just like it. It's the action is really good, and she was inspired by that lizard.
I don't remember the name of it.
Of the lizard? No. Of the dinosaur? Oh, no, but everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah,
the one that gets all upset and its collar rattles and moves around, and then it kills Newman.
I think Jurassic Park everyone already knows what T-Rex is, but Velociraptor, that's the one that everyone, like, I think
T-Rex, Jurassic Park popularized the Velociraptor for
yeah,
sure.
it's just like, okay, that's your one new dinosaur you learn. And
Yeah, because like they make a point to be like, oh yeah, T-Rex is like big and chompy and stuff, but like Velociraptor's smart. Do you remember the guy?
One, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one, and then the Velociraptor hacked into the computer. Maybe it was.
That didn't happen.
Oh, okay.
But my favorite line, I know this. This
Yeah.
is Unix.
This is Unix. Next up.
Flora on CodeBender. So CodeBender is a web-based service for you to program your Arduino boards in a browser, which is really cool because you can like have your code. You know, you can have your code online and upload it from any computer and share it with people. And it's kind of like the Arduino IDE in a browser. Yeah. And
yes,
it's a little weird.
One of the things that we're approaching is being able to run the code that you're writing on your microcontroller, but never leaving a browser. Right. And there's this glue that you have to connect up because like the Arduino IDE is a standalone application, and it has a serial port thing, and it's separate from where you're coding usually. Like you're looking online, you're doing stuff, and then you're cutting and pasting
it.
So what's neat is CodeBender is one of a few that bridge those two. So you can
like find code and upload it all in the same experience. And we needed to get those signed drivers for Flora in order for it to work with CodeBender, and now we do, and now it works with CodeBender. So you can program Flora. I know for a fact, I tested it myself. You can program Flora through a browser. On Windows 8, even if you want to, with CodeBender. So that's
crazy.
Really cool. Try it out. Let us know what you think, and upload your code in there.
It costs a couple $1,000 to get all these drivers signed.
So you better use them.
Yeah. No, it costs money. Like it's kind of a racket, but like, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
It's not like domain name registration where it's like eventually got to $25 or something.
$10.
It's like nope. Really, 10? Okay,
or 5. It depends on how high demand is or what the
I think we use
TLC is.
Okay, you're going places.
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm not actually. This isn't Brooklyn.
You're staying still.
I'm actually going to like work from home this day and not even leave the borough. But I'm speaking at the Core 77 Object Culture Conference on July 19th, and that's super cool. I'm on a panel with a guy from Google who worked on Glass.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about every day. Did I call this or what? The electric?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about like adopting technology on your person, and I'm going to talk more about social, and he's going to talk more about or like interpersonal relationships. And he's going to talk more about like society implications of us wearing technology all the time. So it should be a good time. If you're already going, come say hi. If you're not already going, check it out. It's like for product designers and stuff.
And for the folks who are wondering, is Adafruit a factory that's always under construction and adding equipment and things? Yes, it is. It turns out it is.
They're actually putting in electrical right now for the new pick-and-place machine.
Yeah, and more.
I totally predicted that they were going to start drilling as soon as we turned on the show.
Oh, yeah. And our new
they can actually hear it that
our
bad.
new reflow oven is probably going to arrive like right in a couple
baby.
of minutes. Yeah. Got a lot going on. So someone in the chat said it's a Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus?
Oh, thanks. Thank you for identifying the dinosaur that we couldn't.
All right.
That killed Newman.
Speaking of open source dinosaurs that doesn't make any sense.
Speaking of conferences that Becky is speaking at, the Open Hardware Summit has extended their call for speakers. So if you were on the fence about submitting a paper or a poster or even like a demo session or a workshop, the deadline's been extended, so you can go there now and submit your stuff. And I know it's in Rome, so some of you are like, I can't foot the bill for going to Rome. There is some funding available for travel, which is really exciting. Good job, Chair Addy, in raising some travel money.
Adafruit gives money every year. We'll give money this year when they contact us. So.
But if you want a speaker, you have a cool project or a cool
they'll fly you
open
out.
source, they might fly you out. Should be super fun. I'd see you there.
Okay.
It's time for this week's project debut. It is a sock made out of Conductor Fabric.
Okay.
If only there were a video explaining. Actually, the video doesn't explain. It just shows.
Okay.
It's just a music video. But
All right.
you can show it and we'll talk about it after.
Okay. Okie dokie.
It's a shorty
Yeah.
this week. So we were inspired by the Off Pocket and all of these like fashions that are coming into the internets right now about private data privacy.
Yeah.
So like there's all these reports about phones calling home when they're off, or like reporting your location possibly to the government while
Yeah.
it's off or in airplane mode, and that's super creepy. So you're seeing lots of art projects and fashion projects that are helping you like take agency over your technology and like make sure that you, like, if your phone now does stuff that you don't know about, like protecting
Yeah.
yourself. So this is a slightly like, valid paranoia project.
This year by Louis Vuitton, Snowden.
Yeah.
Snowden purse.
You know how like Tommy Hilfiger's got that Zooey Deschanel dress line?
Yeah.
We're
I can see it.
gonna have a Snowden.
Yeah, Glenn Greenwald coat.
I hope it's the Becky Stern instead of the Greenwald.
Yeah.
Anyway, I lined my jacket pocket. It works a little better when there's a flap over the top, but this is a super simple sewing project, so you can make it your own.
We're gonna try something that's never been done before. We're gonna try to do a live demo of this, and I don't know what's gonna happen.
This is my phone. I'm gonna try to. You're gonna call me.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you. This is outside of the pocket because it's not inside of the pocket.
Right. So Phil's gonna call me, and
Yeah.
it's gonna ring. I'm gonna try to hide your. I don't think your phone number will show up, but we'll.
It doesn't matter.
Your phone number's on the freaking website.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to get a hold of me.
Okay, so it's ringing.
Okay,
Phil's
that worked
calling
out.
me.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang up on you.
Okay, that's it. All right. Now.
Everybody saw it ring, right?
Yeah.
Missed call from Phil.
Yeah.
I'm
Now.
gonna put it in the pocket.
Now this is risky for us because who knows? Like we've done tests. It's always been fine. You never know.
It goes this way.
It's like
I added this fancy Velcro closure.
This is like a magic trick. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing I did before, but this time it's inside the pocket. It's not outside the pocket. It's inside the pocket. Okay.
Go ahead, phone, ring.
Yeah. And as you can see,
Oh, you want to show it going to voicemail?
yeah, I'm calling Becky Mobile. Becky Mobile.
Good. Your phone number.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's
Nothing.
not gonna ring.
Nothing. Even though the phone's this close, it doesn't work that way. But anyways.
It doesn't work that way. I wish
They're
it worked
not
that way.
communicating to each other. They're
No.
going. Yeah.
Through this-
Yeah.
through the
So
sky.
so
Nothing.
that's pretty cool. There's no phone.
Do you guys believe me? I swear I didn't press any hotkeys or use any
Yeah.
RFID manicures to change the ringer settings. There's no missed call from Phil.
Yeah. That's cool. So it works.
It totally
Live
works
demo.
for cell phone. I found that when I was like trying to get footage of it blocking, like get it on camera, like it not having any service.
Yeah.
And I was like sticking the sock like around the camera lens and stuff.
Yeah.
That like the Wi-Fi came back really fast. So like I don't think it blocks Wi-Fi as well, but it did go all the way down to zero,
Yeah.
empty Wi-Fi. But I do sit right near a Wi-Fi router. This fabric's really similar to the silver plated nylon lycra stretch that Less EMF has, and
Yeah.
they have a chart of all of their the frequency. They're like the crazy tinfoil hat people. They'll sell you like.
Not so crazy now.
Yeah, not so crazy now, right? That's what they're saying. No, but for a while it was the only place you could get any conductive
Yeah.
textiles, and they use it for shielding. And mainly if you're motivated to,
Yeah.
you think you're sensitive or whatever. But they have graphs that show like the frequency blocking of all of their different fabrics, and this one is really similar to their lycra stretch. I linked to it in the guide for this project, so you can see like where it blocks on the spectrum. This does not block RFID. That was the project we wanted to do at first, was make your own RFID blocking wallet, but
Yeah.
I tried with my key to the door here, the RFID key, and also our MyFair tags, and reading them with
Nothing
my
can
phone,
stop RFID.
and it didn't block it. None of our conductive fabric did, actually, but this one, out of all the conductive fabric we sell, blocks the cell phone and the Wi-Fi the best. But it's akin to like the active ingredients in sunscreen. So if you look at the spectrum blocking
okay.
of different ingredients in sunscreen, I learned this in a chemistry class in college, actually, and I have a vested interest in how sunscreen works. I don't know if you can tell, but the frequency you like add another active ingredient, and it adds the graphs add up, and then you get like total coverage over the whole spectrum. So like what could be cool is to try to layer different types of conductive fabric together and see how the blocking changes, because the frequency blocking will add up.
Stack it up.
Yeah, but this is not a bad start for your own cell phone blocking. I can't guarantee it's going to keep you safe from the government, but it's not a bad start.
Yeah.
And it's a fun, easy project to make.
Also a very fast way to make sure no one calls you. Just put it in your pocket.
Yeah, like if you're going to the movies or something, and I mean, your phone does like use up more battery and try to project louder waves when it doesn't have service.
Yeah.
So like when you go on the subway and it's in your pocket, people say like, oh, it's like radiating your body because it's like trying to get a signal and it's not going to.
Yeah.
So it does waste your battery a little, but like, you know, Snowden supposedly has his guests put their phones in the fridge so that they can't be recording his audio and hopefully that it blocks their signal. So like, I don't know, if you have it in your pocket and you put it in there in the movies or when you're on a date, it's like a gesture.
From what I understand, cell phones are smarter now. They'll give up and then they don't try as hard because they're like, oh, I must be in a spot where I can't get coverage, so I'll just try every 15 minutes instead of every 5 seconds. So
Right, which
apparently,
is cool.
apparently they're better than they used to be.
Right, so cool. So try it out, see if it blocks your phone.
Okay.
And,
If you want to buy some of this stuff to make this project, you could get it for 10% off right now. Right now.
Yeah, and like the fabric's super cheap. You can get 10% off the fabric, and you don't even have to have a sewing machine. You can hand sew it. It's just two seams and a little bit of Velcro.
Okay. Next up, component of the week.
Oh, yay.
These are new. We just got these.
Yeah, these are new. That's why they're the component of the week. These are the mini thin speakers that are designed to go in like talking greeting cards. And we have two kinds, a metal one and a plastic one, and they're both 8-ohm speakers. You can learn more about them in our new products video from last week or on the product page. But they're cool for wearables. We didn't have any speakers by themselves before. We have the Drawdio speaker that we included in the Build Your Own Owl chirping plush toy guts kit. But if you want to make your Flora project beep and buzz, you can use this in place of a piezo buzzer in our piezo project. And then you can also build your own. Follow the, if you have a Gemma, you can build the Talking Toy Guts kit with one of these. Or, you know, use it for your Wave Shield.
Or our upcoming open source phone called Phono.
I want to make the dog cell phone project. So next week is coming up as a dog GPS project, and I want to upgrade it when we get the cell module. So you can send it things and it could talk for you. So it would be like it's translating the dog's speech, but not really.
Yeah, well, dogs only have one word. Hey.
Hey?
Hey. Hey, 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 hey. All right. Tools you want to take to a desert island.
I would want to take all three of these tools to the desert island. So today we're doing Becky's favorite blades, and I like sharp things. Everyone knows that. This, by far, is my favorite blade. This is one of my favorite blades, and this is a really cool specialized tool that is very sharp, so it counts as a blade. We can go to the overhead, and I'll talk to you about all three
Let's
of
go to
these
the overhead.
things. This Ulfa knife I have had since college. It's fabulous, and I love it, and it's so much better than your standard utility knife. So if you have been using utility knife around your shop, and the blade's kind of wobbly, the blade gets dull, you have to just unscrew it to turn it around or replace the blade. It's just, this is like the Cadillac of utility knives, and it's not very expensive. It's just, it's made for crafts and precision architectural models and stuff. And it has this ratcheting, tightening knob here that tightens the blade down. It uses the same kinds of blades as you get for your retractable box cutter, but it's got a lot more stability up here next to where the blade comes out. So it's not going to wobble. You can adjust the length very precisely, and it came with a little tool, I think, that goes on the end. No, you can use this one to take it out and snap off the blade. And it has a hole for attaching to your belt clip or whatever. And so you can use like a long blade if you're like shaving like foam, if you're making a sculpture out of, or a cosplay costume out of like foam insulation. This is good for like big blade and it'll stay pretty sturdy. Or you can come down here and just do a little bit. But I like it for cutting things like paper. It cuts real nice, and when it gets dull, you can just snap off the blade, so you can see really easy. And then also, it's great for things like this poster board, which is a bit thicker. And I just find that the blade's really stable, and it's hard for it to hop the blade and cut you. Although this knife has cut me before, so be careful, of course. But so this Ulfa knife, really good investment. I've had mine forever, and it's it's like $30 or something. It takes the same blades as every other utility knife, or every other box cutter. And then, so that's my ultimate favorite blade. Couldn't live without it. Hardly let anyone borrow it. It's really special to me. This other blade that I really like that was a kind of magical find for me is this finger Exacto knife, kind of. It's made by Fiskars. And I found it in the scrapbooking section of the craft store, actually. And because they have all kinds of weird specialty tools, and you don't know what they're for, and it turns out it's for scrapbooking, but that's okay. Scrapbookers cut a lot of paper, and so do I. So
I see.
You hold it in your finger like a pencil, kind of.
It's like an ergonomic Exacto.
Yeah, and it doesn't, you don't drop it as easily, so it's less likely to cut you, I think. And yeah, it's ergonomic, and it lets you make very fine detailed, like you're drawing with a pencil, but with the blade. So against a ruler, it's really pleasant. Again, it takes standard Exacto blades, so you can just unscrew the little collar and then pull out the blade and replace it. I like things that have standardized replacement parts, so that they're easy to find replacements and not expensive, and then you're more likely to use it and keep it sharp, because a sharp tool is a safe tool. So that's a cool find. If you live near a craft store like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or whatever, they probably have this in the scrapbooking section. I know you're afraid to go into that section of the store. I myself am afraid.
Bring a friend.
There's lots of decorative papers.
Yeah.
Just go straight for the tools. Or you can get it online, of course.
And then you got one more.
I've got one more. So this is my Rotary Cutter, often found in the quilting section of the craft store, because people use it for cutting fabric a lot, and that's what we use it here for too. Actually, this one has, look, it has my name label on it, because we actually use this in kitting to cut our conductive fabric.
Okay.
And what the kitters call it is, hey Becky, can I borrow that pizza cutter thing?
Yeah, the pizza cutter thing.
And I say, yeah, sure. It's actually called a rotary cutter, and let's have a safety lesson first. But sure.
Yeah.
And because I would feel real bad if anyone cut themselves with my tools.
And don't use it on pizza.
And don't use it on. We have pizza here at Adafruit too, and don't use it on pizza. So, but the blades are very, very sharp. It's and it's got this. This is also made by Fiskars. It's got this soft touch handle. Much like the scissors I showed on our scissor segment. That also almost made it into my Becky's favorite blades, but we already covered those scissors. So Fiskars also makes excellent scissors that are like this. But you squeeze the handle down and you can lock it. You can lock it open or closed. And when it's locked open, you can see this very, very sharp blade sticking out here. And I'm going to show you how we use it to cut some conductive fabric. This conductive fabric is silver. It's got the most metal on it out of any of the conductive fabrics we have. The most metal, like. The woven stuff we had,
sorry.
Yeah, hardcore. The woven stuff is plated after it's woven, and this is plated after it's knit, but a knit surface has kind of more surface area because of the way the fibers interlock. So like, it's more silvery, so it dulls blades faster, it's harder to cut.
Okay.
Good safety practice is always keep your, I actually have a numb spot on the end of my finger where I made this mistake, where it's hanging over the edge like this, and you go and you just slice off the end of the corner of your finger. Very common injury. Keep your fingers over here. And then you push down and it just cuts through it like butter if the knife is sharp. And this is metal fabric, so this is a really serious tool. It'll make really fast, precise work of any fabric pieces you have. If you're trying to make something quilted, or you want to make like fabric touch buttons for your project and you're making a bunch, this makes really fast work. You can also cut paper with it. I think it's supposed to be from fabric. And those are my favorite blades. Oh, we're going to run over because I'm talking so much about how much I like sharp things. I hope you enjoy all of those sharp things.
A recap of blades by Becky.
3 of my favorite blades. The more eccentric blades you might not have heard of before.
All right. It's question and answer time. Some great questions for a great prize. What's the prize?
Flora.
Great.
And Flora is today's prize. It's unoriginal. It's the same price as last week, but it's a good prize.
Flora is one of those things where you bring what you want to do. So Flora needs to stay the same, but all the things you do can be different. Yeah.
Exactly. So you'll get a Flora, one of you, whose question I answered.
All right. This is from Andrew. My question, I created a wearable project for my son with a LiPo battery and had purchased the LiPo mini USB charger and assumed that I can easily pull the battery out, charge it, and put it back. However, the JST connectors are terrible to remove. I tried it directly into the Gemma and via the extension cable, and I had to use needle nose pliers and force every time. Is there a better option to quickly remove the battery, or am I basically required to buy the $12.50 USB charger and leave the battery and charger as part of my project?
Okay, Andrew. Well, first of all, you can't leave the charger in your project. You need to unplug the battery in order to plug it back into your project.
That's right.
And you could use the micro LiPo charger. It's only $6, not $12.50. But depending on what size battery you have.
Yeah.
But basically, you just need fingernails.
Yeah, it's supposed to have a firm connection.
So
if it had a crappy loose connection, your project would never.
Your project would not power on.
Yeah.
Your project would turn off. So terrible is a relative term, but thank you for your constructive feedback. I find that the connectors are very snug when you first get them. I have nails, so I never have any trouble. I do feel them more difficult than at first, and then they loosen over time because the plastic is a little bit malleable, and as you jam them together and pull them apart, they will loosen over time. But you can also take a nail file and just file down your batteries, the plastic on the battery connectors until
Yeah.
it fits more to your liking. And you're just using needle nose pliers because you don't have these talons. So,
Grow some talons.
Grow a pair of fingernails.
All right. Next up, question for the question and answers. How long does the 150 milliamp hour battery on the Neogeo watch last? Also, can you recharge it through the Flora, or do you have to take it out and charge it with a LiPo charger? Thanks.
The 150 we found only lasted like 2.5 hours on the Neogeo. So when we got them in the store, which was after we had made that project already, we upgraded it to the 500 milliamp hour battery, which is only slightly bigger than the 150, but holds a lot more juice. And we were able to fit it on that watch band directly behind the circuit. So, and then that lasted like 4.5 hours. So, I would say not too terribly long. Upgrade to the 500. And then
Okay.
what was your question? Oh yeah, you have to take it out and charge it with its own LiPo charger because batteries get hot when you charge them, and we don't want you to charge it while it's attached to textiles or fabric because it could catch on fire.
Okay, I've got a question. How do you go about making clean holes for mounting NeoPixels in fabric so that the NeoPixel holds up but doesn't fray around the hole? Is there a tool or trick you use? Good question.
Timothy, there's a post similar to that partially answers your question on the blog today. The guy making the whole very many iterations of that whole LED suit has found his way to a polyester trench coat, and he so delightfully points out that you can just burn holes in the polyester and they singe the edges so that it doesn't fray. And we showed that technique in the brake light backpack. In
That's
a
right.
nylon backpack, you cut the holes and then you can use a lighter or a heat gun to, or even a like old dirty soldering iron to like singe the edge of the hole and it won't fray. In natural fabrics, though, that's not the case, and you'll have to do something like it's called in sewing a piece of facing. That's a piece of fabric that's the same size as your opening, and you stitch it and turn it in and iron it. Or a placket, it's also called in different kinds of sewing because it's often used for like an area where there's buttons.
Yeah.
You could also use a buttonholer on your sewing machine to embroider around the hole so that it's like a buttonhole kind of.
Okay. Last question, then a prize. Okay, well, here's my question. I have $60 and want to impress my friends with a wearable electronics project, and I'm only a beginner when it comes to electronic knowledge. I'm only 18, but I am quite good with soldering iron because of an engineering class I'm taking. So what would be my next big project, and where can I start? Thank you so much. Love your show. It's truly inspiration for me. Sorry for all the restrictions. My options are limited, and hope you can think of something awesome. Actually, you know what? I love beginners because they have no options. They have no limits
Right,
for their
limits.
options.
I know, Jared, that's such a sweet question.
Yeah.
I actually wrote down a list. I went through.
They're not
like,
experts yet that will refuse to do anything different. Everything's new, and they can.
so open-minded
Yeah.
beginners are.
Yeah.
I love it. I picked out a couple projects I thought you might like. The EL panel chucks, so they're sneakers
That's
with
good.
the glowing star. That's very inexpensive. Doesn't involve any soldering or programming though, so not a huge challenge for you, but definitely on the inexpensive side. The plush game controller is just Conductor Fabric and Flora. The Man Arc Reactor, it's a NeoPixel ring and a Gemma and some laser cut acrylic.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite impressive and funny for your Iron Man costume. You could also put it in your hand and make like a I'm shooting laser beams at you. The Flora TV Be Gone, so that's a wearable that turns off televisions.
Yeah.
Also the Flora piezo buzzer. So like it's just a Flora with components on it. You wear like a brooch. And we have the magnetic pin back, the Flora, and the IR LEDs. You can get those for definitely all under $60. And then the NeoPixel punk collar. That'll stretch your soldering skills. It might not be your style. You might make it for your dog or your friend, or maybe you. But it has a lot of soldering of the through-hole NeoPixels and Gemma. So and not many, and a little battery. So not many more components. Definitely under $60.
Okay.
I hope that helps. Please show us what you make. I would
All
like
right.
to see.
It's time to give away the prize.
Okay, one of you will be winning a prize.
Yeah.
I'm crossing my fingers for you, Jared, but
Before you pick the winner,
but
how do people enter?
Oh yeah, you ask a question like in the comments below, or on Twitter, or Google Plus, or on the blog, or anywhere where we look and we'll see it, and I will screenshot it. And if I think it's useful to other people, I will answer it on the show,
Yes.
and then you will be in this bucket labeled things, out of which I will pick a winner.
Insta chat gram plus tube
Yes,
tryst.
chat, snap, face. I've been watching Silicon Valley.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's really funny.
They make fun of all the names of the social media sites.
Yeah, and they talk about having going on a vision quest to come up with the name of your startup.
Okay.
Jared won. Jared, I swear I didn't rig it. I was hoping for you though because you are on a limited budget and now you have a Flora. So there's like 8 more projects you can do with that $60 now that you don't have to buy the Flora.
Okay.
Cool,
All right,
Jared,
you have
congrats.
one little sneak preview you wanted to show folks.
Oh yeah, tomorrow is 3D Thursday, and tomorrow's project are these awesome, glowing, 3D printed, NeoPixel illuminated horns.
Yeah.
There's a couple different styles. Look out for that project. The guide is live already on the Learning System, and there's a video coming out tomorrow. Couple different styles, really neat collaboration between the Ruiz brothers and Phil B.
Yeah.
Super neat for costumes coming up. This Halloween, we're on it, man. We're so on it.
I feel like the stuff that we're doing in 3D printing actually gets it out of the workshop into the world.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna wear these out, and it's like, well, what is it? Oh, it's an electronics thing. And how did you get those? I 3D printed them.
Yeah.
And it's also new materials. It's cool.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
And so, they're printed in Ninja Flex, so you can also print them in a pointy, hard material.
Okay.
And you can wear them without LEDs in them, too, just on a headband.
All right, one last reminder. Code is block it.
You can block all your cell phone waves and buy anything in the Flora and Wearables category at 10% off until 11:59 tonight.
Yep. And that's our show.
Wow, we went so over.
That's all right.
I was a little chatty today.
We started a couple minutes later, too. It's all good.
Sure we did. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please join us again next week. If you have a project you'd like to show off, you can join our show and tell tonight at 7:30 Eastern. And we love to see your faces there. And then after that is Ask an Engineer at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. We're going to be showing off some new crazy stuff that no one's ever seen before tonight.
So stay, tune
Yeah.
in again later for that. Leave your questions in the comments, and we'll see you here next time. Same thing.
Okay, bye-bye. See you, everybody.